It is Thursday, the 17th of July. We are at Gifted Melon Comedy at the Thomas Wolsey pub in Ipswich. We are at Ipswich again. We haven't been here. Well, the last time we came here was a few months ago for Glass Eye Comedy, which was vlog number 80. So have a look at that. Usually I kind of like pop up and say, oh, look at there, and maybe put a fucking visual, but as you know, my editing skills ain't that great, so I just fucking leave it and always forget. I am running late. I got to my train very late. This morning I put on this brand new t-shirt, which is fantastic. First thing, spilled some coffee on it, so that has been absolutely miserable, and I really don't know what to do about this weather, because currently it's standing at about 1,000 degrees. You know, fuck me, even as a black person, like, if you don't get enough sun, then you do not get used to it. Like today when I left my house, I wore a t-shirt, a hoodie and a jacket, so fuck knows what's going on there. Morale is low, but last time we came to Ipswich it was fantastic. I mean, if you looked at the vlog, when I look back at the footage when I was at Ipswich last time, it was such an overwhelming amount of feedback for what essentially was some really muffed up lines. I mean, you know, my set's my set, but they were just such a good audience. Now, I've been dying to come back, so I hope it's much of the same. This is a different venue, different promotion, but it sounds like they got a filled up room. Every time I go outside of London, it seems to be probably about 90% of the time, it's not only going well, it's going incredibly well. I keep getting a lot of good feedback, so looking forward to this. And next week, I've got like 6 gigs in 7 days, which is ridiculous for me. You know, the most I've ever done is about 4 in 5. I've got 4 in a row and then 3 in a row next week. So it's going to be a bit of a mammoth week. I'm hoping to come up with some good stuff next week. So I'm going to hopefully go in with the intention to do pretty much all new stuff and just go out and just eat the shit like I deserve for the shit comedy, to hopefully get something good out of it, because the last time I had a bit of a, you know, busy spell, I just don't feel like I got enough out of it. So I'm hoping that this gig goes well, so my confidence is high going into next week, so when it gets battered to smithereens it won't seem as bad. But we'll see how we go on with that. You know, I'm sure once I get in there and once I'm relaxed and, you know, don't have to sit next to a fucking toilet that is currently blocked, I'll be alright. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have a decent one. And if not, who gives a fuck? That didn't work.
Alright, we've got an act come all the way from London for you tonight. You ready for your next act? Make some noise for Chris Alley!
Hello my people, you alright? I am from London, do not be afraid. Alright? No, I'm happy to be here, although when I found out that their show was called Gifted Melon Comedy, I thought for sure it was a black night. This side get it, this guy just don't know black people. Now, my name is Chris Alley. I've been doing stand-up comedy for just over 2 years, right? But you know, I've been dreaming about this since I was a little kid, you know. And it's crazy to think, because like back then, you know, I actually had hope. No, it's been going alright, you know, it's been going pretty well. You know, I've been getting some good feedback here and there. Obviously not here, but, you know, in other places which are good. You know, but the thing is, right, people have been coming up to me after gigs and saying, Chris, I really like your comedy, but it's just a bit too black. I mean, like, what am I supposed to do? Joke like I'm a white person? You know, I don't like skiing. What even is a quiche? Fucking eggy bread in my house. Yeah? I remember the first time someone came up to me after a gig and told me my comedy was too black. I almost spat the fried chicken out my mouth. Too fucking black, you know what I mean? But does anyone in here, actually give me a cheer, do you know who Joe Wicks is?
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that don't know, right, Joe Wicks was the guy that got famous during the pandemic.
for teaching a nation how to get fit and speak English poorly. Right? He recently got into a bit of trouble, right, because he put out this tweet saying that the reason for the rise in ADHD in young kids is because of processed food, you know, which we know is absolutely nonsense because it was the COVID vaccine. This guy's nodding, yes it was. But I grew up a fat kid, and then I became a fat adult. I'll be honest, I did not see that coming. like, I don't know about, like, when you're a fat kid, right, all people tell you is that you'll grow out of it. Fuck off, grow out of it. I grew around it. Like, when I tell people how much I weigh, they say, oh, you hold it well. What does that even mean? You know, that's something you tell a camel. Not a human being, you know. But I've lost a bit of weight, right? So when I tell people I'm fat, they say, oh, you're not fat, Chris. And I think that's the worst level of fat to be, when no one notices. You know? Because I want to be recognised as being fat, right? Because, you know, like things like being late, you know, because, like, you know, there's a famous stereotype about black people being late. And I will say, full disclosure, I was late today. That was the train, right? Wasn't it? But, you know, because of that, as a black person, when I'm late, I get kind of worried that people are going to judge me for being late because I'm black. But if you're fat and late, people understand. But I recently got a new job. Yes, I've got 4 now. Fucking comedy does not pay. Or crime. Don't do the time. No, that's a stupid line. Well, now I'm rhyming. I don't know what happened there. I apologise. But, do you know, when I got my job right, I know this is a lot of black stuff, I'll be honest, but no, it just is what it is. I am black. But no, because when I got the job right, I always tell people, because of diversity and inclusion strategies, you know, people think it's a good thing, but for me it tells me that I got the job because I'm black, right? And I know that because when I got the interview for my last job, I got there late, and the interviewer said, you got what we need. That's a tough one, right, there you go. No, we're just late, too many late jokes. But, or you're late on this joke. No recovering from that. We got any football fans in the house? Yes. Is it Ipswich, isn't it? Yeah, Ipswich. Yeah. What league you lot in?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not? Well done for you. Nice, that's so lovely. You're going to be playing Arsenal. Yes. Come on. Yeah, come on, Arsenal. I've lost this side, unfortunately. This guy's pissing me off today. Please, when we spank you, it's just going to be good for me. But I'm a big football fan, me. Big football fan, you know. Trying to become a medium-sized football fan, but still holding on to that Christmas weight since I was 12. But, you might have heard about this, right? The Premier League recently released this list of the most influential black people in football, right? So, you know, really good stuff. It's players like Rashford and Saka, and the other one that missed.
Oh, we've got some other finals since then.
I know, it gives a fuck, innit? I know, I need to update my joke, really. I've been doing that shit for 3 years. Thank you for calling it out, sir. It wasn't going bad enough. Yeah, a bit over it, innit? But the thing is, right, guess what they called that list, though? They called it the blacklist. You know? That's why I kept the joke. But look, the thing is, right, I get it. The fact that it's offensive doesn't really bother me. I just think it lacks creativity. Like, what are these idiots going to come up with next? The most influential Slovakians in football and call it the checklist? You know, I get it, you're trying to recognise black people, but making a list of black excellence and calling it a blacklist is almost as bad as putting an all-black political party together and calling that party slave labour. Yeah, it's a Tory time here, is it? Yeah. But did anyone in here, give me a cheer or something, did anyone in here grow up with like a bit of an annoying dad? Yeah? Must be nice. Practically showing off at this point, ain't ya? You know, I grew up with a single mum, you know, wonderful single mum, you know, going up, hey, yeah, give it up for the single hoes out there. You know? No, but growing up, right, she did all the typical things a dad would do, you know, go out and play football. She talks about girls, what she calls legs. You know. She would taught me how to shave. You know, it's hard to get between those legs, but we got the, he got it before I said it. But something else about me is I grew up with a twin brother, so it's so nice they made me twice. Hey. What's my mum likes to say, 2 mistakes for the price of 1. Silly bitch. But when people see my twin brother together, right, they say I look exactly like him, which really annoys me because I think he's ugly, you know. But something about my twin brother is he's gay, right? But you know, when he came out when he was 18 years old, which was great, you know, because he was telling friends and family. The only problem I have is I'm a big homophobe. big homophobe. Trying to become a medium-sized homophobe, you know? See, I'm not a homophobe. I used to bath naked with a gay guy. Very good. But when he came out, right, I'll be honest, it really wasn't a surprise, you know, because all the signs were there, you know, we grew up together. We used to play games. We used to play doctors and nurses, you know, like well, you know, the game where they used to play different characters in the hospital. Guess who my gay twin brother always wanted to be? Was Beyonce. Always the missed issue. I don't know. You know, well, I just feel like in the last few years, people have tried to recognise black people in like really weird ways, right? You know, they had the term BAME, that got cancelled. The one I never understood was the term person of colour. How did that get through? Obviously, none of you get it because you're white, but the term person of colour means someone that isn't white. Now, for me, any term that puts me and Lucy Liu in the same category, that's got to be a mistake. Right? Like, she's a 5'2" Asian woman that looks like she can fit in most people's pockets. And I'm not, you know? I'm a 5'10", 18 stone black guy. I can barely fit in most smart cars. You know? We're not the same people. You know? But you know, people talk about privileges a lot as well, and I think it's like black people, we have privileges too, right? Like we get to say things that white people don't get to say. Like bumper club. No. Don't say that, alright? Too white. But I think it's the thing is, right, I think it's because of this, right? It's because of this saying that I once heard that not all white people are racist, but all racist people are white. Do you know who said that? Some black cunt. Definitely don't say that. But I'll leave you this, right? Because I'm a black guy, right? As you can tell, yeah, really. If you didn't fucking know. But I was speaking to this vegan in Whole Foods, who told me that me calling myself black is actually a self-identifying preference. I'll be honest, I've got no clue what they then was talking about. You see, because all my life I thought I was born black. I had not realised it was a preference. Yeah? I mean, if it was a preference, I'd have one of those big black dicks, you know what I'm saying? Throbbing like the Rock and shit. You know? My junk looks like 3 new potatoes just huddled together. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. I've been Chris Allen. Thank you very much.
Ipswich has done it again. What an unbelievable gig. I listen to a lot of comics and established ones, particularly in America and things like that. And they always talk about, I think it's different in America just because it's much bigger and there's so many other places, but you always hear comics talk about how certain cities and towns or states or wherever are like, great, oh, this is a great place to gig. This is a great place to gig. Ipswich has never lost. Ipswich is phenomenal. I don't know what it is. I was in love with it the first time, and going to a different gig there, it's just, yeah, it was just fantastic again. If by the power of Grayskull I manage to do anything that's half reasonable with stand up, I feel like Ipswich is going to be one of those places that I'm always going to come back to, always going to want to gig. The people are just there for a laugh regardless. I was as loose as I could be in that setting. You know, I really feel like I'm starting to feel comfortable on that level. And I'm not talking about a level of professionalism. I mean, in terms of a packed room with people that are willing to laugh. You know, I made the point to, there was a little green room with the comics, and I made the point that, you know, I think we said it before, it's about getting comfortable at different levels. In the open mic circuit, I'm one of the more seasoned ones, and kind of at the top end of feeling comfortable in those settings, so I can really enjoy the performance. And in one like today, where there's 50 something, 40 something people in the room, what you're hoping for, the reason why you gig to in all these different places and these different environments, trying to get out in different places, is to make sure that you're prepared for a full room, so you can really make the most of it. And you know, I think I ended up counting 3 applause breaks during that gig, so you could tell me if you watched the actual set. And you know, I've taken my time with this. You know, 2 years, 3 months, 4 months. I've only really got a 10-minute set, but it's as impactful as it could possibly be in a lot of ways. And I tried to make it that. And you know, you got to be patient, you got to be methodical, and I'm not in a rush. And I don't want to deliver something that is subpar, particularly if there is a room that is there to be had. And you know, I went out there, and the comics on the other side of the wall all just said, because we weren't in the same room, so you couldn't hear the jokes, you couldn't see the set, but you could hear some of the feedback from the audience, and certainly felt like they could hear the rumblings at the side of the wall. I was just, you know, it was just fun. It just really was fun, you know, with my set. Obviously, some of the stuff that I've developed at the beginning of the year, I did a bit of that. It just was a great one, really. I really do love Ipswich. I cannot wait to get back to that town to gig. You know, if you're out there watching this and you're thinking of doing stand-up comedy, or you're in the middle of it, and you feel like you're not making the strides that you feel like you should be, or compare yourself to others, all I do is work to the minutes that are available to me and make them as strong as possible, right? If you're only getting 5s and you're like, I should be getting 7s and 10s because I've been doing it for X amount of years or X amount of gigs, I just don't necessarily ascribe to that. And it wasn't as easy for me to get off 5-minute spots, but I made sure that within those minutes that was allowed to me, I made it as strong as possible, or I've tried to at least. And you know, look, there are duds and it happens and jokes don't get together, but even now it's still getting tighter, still getting stronger. And then I go to these gigs where people have said that someone has mentioned my name, I mean, or told me I was decent. And you know, I started off not doing well in stand-up in terms of the audience, but I always felt like I had comics on side and there was always laughing in the back, and I always held myself up by that to kind of keep me going. But if you're able to do that, it could be even more important as you move up, I guess, you know, because you've got more established people. If you comics that will say and say your name and do networking for you and you know, suggest you, and it's just going really, really well. I'm just pleased with everything that is going on right now. I've had a good gig today. We're gonna have a week of absolute murder next week, and not murdering. I mean, I'm gonna die because I've got too many gigs, but hopefully something good will come out of it. Really got to focus and make sure work does not get in the way. But absolutely wonderful. You know, great time in Ipswich, and yeah, on to the next one.